What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Road to the Show. Today we have the man, the myth, the legend. We got Dan Rizzie in the house. Dan, thanks for coming on, man.
Thanks for having me, PJ.
So you went to the golf outing a couple days ago. We had our alumni golf outing. What have you been up to last few weeks since your season's been over with?
I've just been kind of trying to relax. You play a 140 game season. You gotta get away from it for a little bit. Give your body time to heal, recover, get your mind right, ready to recuperate, and I'll start back up here probably October 1st. Get back in the gym and getting ready for next season.
That's just crazy. 140 games. Do they have you guys do some sort of program, or is it just kind of what to do at this point for lifting and conditioning and things like that?
Yeah. Well, they have us on a pretty good schedule the whole time. During the season, they pull back a little bit because you're playing every day. So
yeah.
Two lifts a week usually during the season. Then once the off season starts, you crank it up to 4. And get ready, try to get in peak shape by spring training.
I feel like there's not even really an off season anymore.
Yeah, I mean the off season is about 3 weeks right now. haven't touched much. Haven't trying to stay active a little bit, whether it's golfing or whatever, getting outside. But yeah, it's short, but it's fun. You gotta dedicate yourself to the game.
That's what I kind of like. I like having obviously you, a former teammate, playing pro ball, and then a couple other guys, Bodner and stuff, and all the downtime. I love to look up how you guys are doing, stats and things like that. All the time. So your first year, I remember last year you were in Brooklyn, right, with the Cyclones.
Yep, Brooklyn.
Right. You started out. Well, you won the Big East here at Xavier, and then you got drafted. Went to Brooklyn. What was that transition like from metal to wood? I mean, that happened pretty quickly after the draft.
Yeah, it was quick. I think I'm trying to think of how we got done with our regional at Vanderbilt, and I think I was home for 4 or 5 days, and then the draft was that weekend. And I got the call on Saturday, and I was all excited. And then he calls me back an hour later. He's like, "Hey, we're gonna ship you out to Brooklyn on Monday. So we'll get you a flight time. We'll get you everything. I'll get you a list of stuff you need to bring. But you'll be out on Monday." And it was quick. It's a different kind of season. It's college you're practicing and playing every day, but pro ball is you're playing a game every single day. So it gets a little tougher to work on things during the season, but it's an adjustment. That first season, that short season in Brooklyn, you really kind of figure out how to stay locked in, stay ready, and like you said, the transition from metal to wood took a little getting used to, but by the time the season ends, you get into August, you're used to it by then.
Were you at that point? That was a lot of baseball. Were you burnt out at that point? I mean, I know towards the end of the year, at least a lot of guys anyway. I know I was this year. I was like, I don't even want to see a baseball field towards the end of the year.
Yeah, you definitely get you love the game, but there's definitely times where you're burned out a little bit, and you're tired. You wake up tired every day, and you gotta try to find a way to keep going. But I mean, that's the fun part too. Watching gives you kind of a new respect for the MLB players.
Right.
They bring it every day against the best competition, and it's something to strive for sure.
Were you surprised at some of the competition, I guess? I mean, I know there is an adjustment, the metal of the wood part. I know some guys say that sometimes the pitching they think is the same maybe at the lower levels of the minors, but the biggest adjustment is wood. What do you think about the pitching? Was the pitching about the same, or?
I'd say pitching, you're facing, for all the college guys, you're facing everybody's Friday guy pretty much every time. And then you're facing their first guy out of the bullpen every time. So, the pitching's better. There's really no let-ups. You're not facing a midweek starter sometimes, a freshman who's never pitched before. You're facing kid who's throwing 92, 94, whatever. But you know, it was an adjustment, and definitely better competition. It forces you to be locked in at all times.
I've heard that from different people who've played affiliated ball that different organizations have like different hitting philosophies and things. And since you were drafted that first year, were they tinkering at all with some of your hitting mechanics, or was it just we'll just see how you do this year? And
yeah, that's exactly it. The Mets, the first short season, they kind of let you do your thing, let you just watch you hit, see what you do, and then they kind of spring training, the off-season instructs, they kind of say like, oh, maybe do this, maybe do that. But philosophy-wise, the Mets are big on just hitting off the fastball, which it's, be aggressive to the fastball, get your pitch, and put a good swing on it. But yeah, different teams. There's definitely different teams that are super aggressive, like
early in the count, you mean?
Yeah, just all the time. Every guy in the lineup's just swinging out of their shoes. First pitch, whatever. I remember it was the Rockies and the Giants this year that we played. That I think we went through the Rockies lineup one whole time and we threw like 20 pitches to every guy, like 9 guys, 20 pitches, and it's
Jeez.
Like they're swinging. They're definitely swinging.
So that's more of an organization. That's something I didn't even know that. I'm sure a lot of people don't know out there. Is each organization is like they're like telling you guys ahead of time, right? Is that right? What your basically your plan?
Yeah, kind of. They have like a general plan. I know the Mets at least have a general plan for like the whole organization, and then it kind of gets individualized each guy. I'm usually more of a patient guy. I like to see a couple pitches, and they're fine with that. Just if I get a fastball early in the count, they won't take an aggressive swing at it, which is good philosophy, which I pretty much do anyway. So
yeah, I think it's good. I think it's kind of cool that you're a catcher in the sense that I feel like if you hit a little bit, like that's awesome, but I mean, wouldn't you say, at least from what I've seen, like a lot of catchers who rise in the minor league system, they're defensive first. I mean, you see exceptions with
exactly.
Buster Posey and
right.
people, your boy Yadier Molina. But would you see? Do you feel like pressure from your bat, or is it mainly just you're just focused on handling the pitching staff and just playing good defense?
Yeah, it's always glove first, especially for me. Being a defensive oriented guy, but it's always glove first. But it's you got to hit too. I guess it might be like a pride thing.
Yeah.
I know I don't have to hit that great, but you still got to hit to get to the big leagues and to move up, and it's just part of the game that I love too.
Yeah.
Hitting, you gotta. I don't want to be, you come to the catcher, oh yeah, easy out, whatever.
Yeah.
Want to be a tough out, and yeah, you definitely got to hit, but glove first. But you got that pride factor in there that you wanna do.
I actually, funny story. I was up the other day at a baseball training place, Elite, which is where you were at last year a little bit. I was talking to Jeff Gatch, and he said that he went to who was he talking to? I forget who he was talking to, but anyway, your guys' first round pick. I don't know if it was this year or last year, but just absolutely loves throwing to you.
Oh yeah, me and Justin Dunn was our first rounder last year. We. Right when he got drafted, we had a couple of mutual friends, mutual connections that we knew in the past, and we just kind of created a friendship right away, and it's been building. Obviously, we spent first half of this season together, spring training together. We lived in the same place. Just a great kid, super talented. Just obviously first round.
Yeah, first round you got to be something right.
A little bit of talented, but yeah, the kid he's a tremendous talent, and it's fun catching guys like that, and. It's good to have that guy on your side too.
Yeah, you get a first rounder. I mean, he was like, honestly, like this kid loves like you catching him so much that he could see you rising like in the system with him.
Yeah, maybe not yet, but
not yet.
I don't know. We'll see. But I definitely love catching him. He's definitely a tremendous talent, and it's fun. Like I said, some guys made a living off of that. In the big leagues, being personal catchers. David Ross with John Lester,
Yeah.
It's obviously not to that extent in the minor leagues, but it's it's definitely good to have that. Good to have guys talking about you like that, you know. So
Yeah, and the other thing is kind of like you said, the first round pick. He likes you. Was he in Port St. Lucie with you? And is that where he was with you, or was he in were you in Columbia too?
He was not in Columbia with me. He was in St. Lucie the whole season, and I was up and down between St. Lucie and Columbia. But we played in Brooklyn last year together.
Oh, okay. So he was last year's first rounder.
Yeah, we were in Instructs last year after the Brooklyn season, spring training this year. So yeah, we've been around. We're building a good relationship.
So I was following you when you were in Port St. Lucie this year.
Mm-hmm.
Looked like you were. It's so tough to get into, like we were talking, I think the other day, into a rhythm when you're like playing like once every 3 or 4 days. Did you how were you able to? Did they be like, hey, we want you to go down to get at bats every single day so you can like?
Yeah, so it was kind of that, and a kid was kind of hurt and banged up, and so I was fine with it. That's something that was all right with me. Just go somewhere where I can get some consistent playing time and get some at bats going and kind of prove my bat, which was something I wanted to do because the organization knew I can catch, but after I struggled a little in Brooklyn, struggled the first half of the season, it was good to kind of show them that I could hold my own at the plate.
Yeah. Did they tell you anything for next year, like where they want you to go or where you're gonna be? Are you gonna be back in Port St. Lucie or?
Not sure.
Sure.
Yeah, they didn't really indicate. They were happy with the way I finished the second half of the season, finished strong, and they were happy with that. So we'll see.
We'll see.
You never know, man.